Folktale from Tamilnadu. A king returns home. In Chola country, there was a small kingdom called Mangalapuram, which was ruled by Rajaratnam. He was a vassal of the emperor and paid his tribute promptly and regularly, and so the kingdom enjoyed a peaceful reign. The region was fertile, giving a good yield year after year, making the people happy and prosperous. The taxes they paid to the treasury went on increasing the royal wealth. Rajaratnam was a kind-hearted ruler and he was generous in distributing his wealth, whether it was for a peasant's family which had suffered a sudden bereavement or for a trader who would have met with some unforeseen setbacks in business. The king equally patronized craftsmen, painters, and poets, encouraging them to visit other countries, learn new crafts and arts, and come back and tell him of the prosperity and glory of the places they visited. The king's brother Maniratnam was not very happy the way money from the royal treasury was being sent on unproductive exercises. He felt that the money was only going to enrich the pockets of the numerous beneficiaries who did not bring back anything to swell the treasury. His actual worry was there might be nothing much left in the treasury by the time he ascended the throne on the death of his brother. As days went by, Maniratnam appeared to be in a hurry to become king. He thought his brother was the only stumbling block, and therefore he should be done away with. But he did not want to be committing a crime himself. So he should find someone to do the job for him, someone who would be willing to do it for money or for favors. He secretly mooted the idea with those who moved closely with the king. He talked to the chief cook of the royal kitchen, but he reminded Maniratnam that the king never ate alone and there would be always guests at dinner time. No, he would not be able to poison the king's food. Suppose the poison affected others as well, he would be caught and put to death. Maniratnam now talked to some of the attendants, but they were also scared of punishment in case they failed in their attempt. Ultimately, Maniratnam made the king's barber agree to his proposal, though he declined to accept any cash reward for such a heinous act. What he did was, while he was giving a shave to the king next morning, he revealed the plot to the king. Rajaratnam fell silent for a while and then expressed his gratitude to the barber, who later confided in some of his friends among the attendants. He then came to realize that they too had wished to remain loyal to the king and refused all enticements from Maniratnam. In no time, the entire court was aware of the plot to assassinate King Rajaratnam. He, however, had a surprise for them. He announced his abdication in favor of his brother. I am fed up with governing, and I feel I should go to the forest and meditate for some years. My brother Maniratnam will rule the kingdom on my behalf. Some of the courtiers pleaded with him not to do anything foolish. He told them, "Perhaps a life in the forest will prove how foolish I have been all through my life." He sent for his brother and, in the presence of the courtiers, he handed the crown to Maniratnam without any ceremony or fanfare. He left for the forest the very next day. Now, everybody knew how nasty and unfair Maniratnam had been to his brother. Even otherwise, he had not endeared himself to the people. They all waited, wondering what his next step would be. Maniratnam was happy for the first few days, though he could not find a smile on the face of any of the courtiers or even the attendants. But they went about their chores, carrying out the orders of the new king. Maniratnam thought it wise to confine himself to the palace and not go out and face the people. The grim look on the face of the people around him gave him a fear that just as he had plotted against his brother, someone must be plotting to kill him and bring back Rajaratnam. So, he decided that the only way he could remain alive was to make sure that his brother was not alive, though Rajaratnam continued to be away in the forest, spending his time in meditation and refusing to meet anybody from the palace or the court. Maniratnam offered half the kingdom to anyone who would oblige him, but no one came forward to accept the offer. Who would want to become a ruler and get embroiled in cheap conspiracies? None was willing to help Maniratnam. One day, a poor poet came to the court. In fact, ever since Rajaratnam went away to the forest, Mangalapuram had not had any opportunity to listen to well-known or up-and-coming poets. This poet, however, made a beeline to the court and asked for the king's permission to read out his epic poem. When the king was told that the theme was the history of the kingdom and not anything in praise of him, he said, "I don't want to listen to your poetic work. Instead, if you can go to the forest, kill my brother and bring me his head, you can have half of my kingdom." The poet did not want to remain in the court for a moment longer. He hurried to the forest, though for a different purpose. He met Rajaratnam and told him about his meeting with the king. He reminded the ex-king how he used to patronize poets and painters and how he was disappointed when the new king did not evince any keenness to listen to his epic on Mangalapuram. Rajaratnam expressed his sorrow and confessed his inability to help him under his then condition. "But you can do one thing, my friend. Here's my sword. Cut my head and present it to my brother and claim your reward of half a kingdom." The poet was horrified. "How can I do that, sir? Even if my family and I were to starve to death, I won't commit such a sacrilege. Please forgive me." He went home, wrote out a poem on his meeting with Rajaratnam and sent it to Maniratnam. He concluded the poem thus: "The headless Mangalapuram sought the precious head for a price. The head is willing to offer it up to save a poor poet who has no hesitation to forsake his own head for the sake of the kingdom. Maniratnam was now struck with remorse. There was nobody willing to do his bit and accept his magnanimous offers. At the time, his brother, instead of chastising him for his evil thoughts, was ready to sacrifice his life so that a poor poet could live happily forever. He ordered his horse to be brought to the palace. For the first time after he took over as king, Maniratnam rode out of the palace. His destination was the forest, but he went unarmed. As soon as he saw his brother in unkempt clothes and wearing a beard, he fell at his feet and begged for pardon. Brother, it was left to the poet to open my eyes. It was a foolhardy act of mine to have made an attempt to have you killed when you were reigning. It was greater foolishness to have offered half of the kingdom that you gave me in return for your head. Please come with me to the palace and take back the kingdom. I am not worthy of even continuing in Mangalapuram as a common man. Forgive me, please. Maniratnam requested his brother to ride the horse while he sat behind him. There was the usual crowd at the palace gates waiting for a royal audience. Many were taken by surprise when they saw their beloved ruler ride into the palace. The cheers that arose from them alerted the people inside the palace, and they all assembled at the courtyard to greet Rajaratnam. Maniratnam led his brother to the court hall, where he handed back the crown to his brother and made him sit on the throne. He himself sat on the floor at the feet of King Rajaratnam. The courtiers were seen shedding tears of joy.
Dhanyavad. Thank you. If you like this video, do like, subscribe and share. See you in the next one. Bye bye.